Hello, hello, hello. This is a continuation of video number 2. I talk more broadly about the interview process in the last video. This is if you just want something clear and concise. That's going to be around 6 minutes, and so that way you can get in and out and watching other videos so you can get back to your research and move on with your day. I totally get it. So here's some do's and don'ts that I see for the interview process. And when I say interview, I mean the full process. You go through the interview, which is stage 1. You have mock class 1, mock class 2, and mock class 3. Mock class 3 is the one that determines whether or not you get hired. Mock class 1, 2, and 3 are done by actual VIP Kid teachers. They're the ones who give you feedback and basically send information to headquarters about how you did, and then apparently it's headquarters who makes the final decision based off what mock 3 feedback was. Interview number 1 is straight with someone from the headquarters in China. And so they will be the person who speaks to you and does your interview, and then you get passed off to the mentors for the next 3 phases. And so when I say interview, I mean all phases of the interview process, not just one. Okay? So here are some do's. Smile. Smile, smile, smile. It is your money maker, or at least I consider it to be my money maker. We're all different people, but smile. Don't forget to smile. You're working with kids. Even if you're working with teenagers, a smile makes things so much easier. It calms the spirit. It calms the soul. If you're at a little bit of unrest, a smile when you've done something wrong just lets you know you're okay. Everything's good. Let's try again. Don't forget to smile, okay? That was my number 1 note when I did my interview. He said, and don't forget that smile. He really liked my smile, I guess. I don't know. It said something like, don't forget that beautiful smile or something. I don't know. Whatever. Smile. Smile, smile, smile. Okay? Number 2, you do need to practice. You do need to be prepared. And I would say practice for each level. The interview, mock 1, mock 2, and mock 3. There is this perception that you do well on your interview and they tell you how much you might get paid and they give you all these positive notes and just a few things you need to work on and that you got it in the bag. It feels like you have the job. You don't have the job. Mock 3 is when you get determined or not when you get the job. That's where they make the final decision. So don't slack off for any stage because all of them you're still being evaluated. It's just one of those processes. It's a longer process, but each stage has its reasons. I think mock 1 is really to kind of just like coach you, give you some advice. Mock 2, it's like to practice and improve from what you did in mock 1. By mock 3, it's like, I hope all your errors are fixed because you're ready to teach now, right? That's what it's like. So you want to make sure that you are prepared. I watched so many YouTube videos. I watched hours of videos, and that was for each stage. For the interview, I did it. For mock 1, 2, and 3, each one of those, I had a different preparation process that took hours. That was my choice. That's how prepared I wanted to be. I got hired. It worked out for me. Some people, they might not need that much preparation. I did. It just makes me feel more confident to be prepared. So I would really recommend being prepared. Number 3, you want to really work on your speed. Naturally, you speak fast because you understand. Remember, you're doing the interview with someone from headquarters who also is not a native speaker. Then mock 1, mock 2, and mock 3 are with mentors who already are working with students who are non-native speakers. So they know when you're going too fast that would not work for the students for this company, for the students who are learning English. So you want to practice that because it's something that you won't naturally catch that you're doing. I still have moments now when I'm teaching where I'm like, that was too fast. Start over, like just you always have to be conscious of it when you're in this type of platform. One thing that I do to slow myself down is I use my fingers. This is a house. And then that makes me wait a little bit more. This is a house. That speed is the more appropriate, if not just even still a tad little bit fast for the interview process. If you're doing the younger kids, you just really want to go slow. That helps me slow down. And then I just also remember, like, take your fastest talking speed, your mid talking speed, and your lowest talking speed, and then go a little bit lower. Like, you still need to be a lot slower. And pacing is important. So you're talking slow, but you still need to get through the material. So when you practice, you still want to keep a good pace so that you cover everything for all of your stages. The interview, mock 1, mock 2, and mock 3. You want to try to get through that material because you want to show them that you can stay on time. Because our classes at VIP Kid are 25 minutes. Now you can go over, but you want to try to get that material covered before like the 30-minute mark because it's like that kid is supposed to be out. Some of them are supposed to be in bed by the time your class is over. So you can't keep them there past a certain time. You want to try to be, I always say I aim for like 25 to 27 minutes. By 28, you should be out and preparing for your next class. So you just really want to make sure you keep timing in the interview process so they know that you can keep timing when you actually start working. So I would practice with a friend or practice with a coach such as myself or someone else who you like, who you've been seeing on YouTube or Facebook, or who has recommended to you or who recommended the service to you. I would also say props are minimal and things that you can work with without getting overwhelmed. For instance, I used the PowerPoint that they gave us and I cut out the images, and that is how I created the majority of my props. And so like I made this for elephant, elephant. Monkey. That's what I did. And I also did the same for smiley faces because I also did a lesson on emotion. And I got stickers from the dollar store for $1, and I got a pack, and that's what I used for my reward. I spent no more than $6. I got myself a background that had like 3 things, ABC, some numbers, hello, my name is Teacher Frannie. That was it. And that was enough to get me passed through. So don't think that you have to go and do like this elaborate background and spend all this money. It's not wise. Do what you feel in you. Do what you need to do to be the best version of yourself. I just don't think it's wise. Remember that the best version of yourself is looking out for you no matter what the circumstance is. And so you don't want this to end up and not work out for you and you spent $200. Like, I don't get that. Do the minimal because you don't know what's going to happen. And you can reach the same goal whether you do a lot or a little. Like, it's one of those situations where you don't have to spend $100 or $50 or a lot of money to still end up successful. I didn't spend a lot of money and I ended up successful. So I always recommend that to people. Don't go buying a bunch of stuff. It's just going to stress you out more. You do want to make sure you have good lighting. So like you don't want to have lighting that's like going in and out, or your face is not truly illuminated, or there's a glare on your props and things like that. That wouldn't work. You want to make sure that all sides of you are lit and that all things can be seen. And they're very big on lighting. And they're very big on the video content. And so, make sure your web camera is working properly before you get signed in. And you do want to dress professionally. I did have a headset, and I also had an orange shirt on. That was the choice that I made because I really wanted to look the part. I went the extra mile to do that. I don't think that that's a necessity for you to get hired, but it was recommended to me because my interview, I did not have a headset. I got one after that because they recommended it in my notes that I should get a headset. So I got my headset from Walmart. I think I paid like $20-something for it. They have it for like $15 on Amazon. Buy it in advance. You can get 2-day shipping, so by the time you do Mach 3, you have it. That is also something that can be returned, so don't freak out. It's like that's, or you could use it in life, like for other things, but whatever. I would recommend a headset. And what I would say I also would do and would not do, I would prepare, but I wouldn't prepare in a style that is not instinctively you. So if you're watching someone do something and you're like, oh, that's good, that's a good idea. But when you go to do it, it doesn't make as much sense, or you can't properly articulate it, or it doesn't feel right in your body, let that go. It is not your thing. For me, I saw someone connect things by blending with a heart. K-at, cat. I realized that was not my style. That k-at, cat, or k-at, cat is more me. That's what I ended up sticking with and what I do to this day. It just worked better for me and my body. I do give my kids hearts, but I don't like to blend with the heart. I like something like this. It was more mobile to me. I also I followed something a teacher did, and she was like, she did something a certain way, and my mentor was like, that's so extra. Like, that, there's a simpler way to get around to this. And I thought that, but I didn't follow my instinct. And so that's why it's like, I honestly thought I wasn't going to get hired because I thought, that the mentor didn't like me. But she did like me. She was just trying to help me and tell me, like, simplify what you're teaching by using what's on the slide as a guide and using things to enhance it, but not overwhelming yourself by making things extra complicated. So make sure how you're teaching doesn't feel complicated to you, because if it does, it's going to be complicated to them. And lastly, don't forget to breathe. Let's take a minute right now. Just get some breath in. It's so important to breathe, and we forget about it every day in life. Breathe. You got this. It is not bigger than you. This is totally doable. I mean, I honestly think if I can get hired, you can get hired. So Take a deep breath before each stage. And remember, you are enough, and no matter what happens, you tried your best. You got the best result for you that day. You're in the place that you need to be regardless. You're blessed. You're exceptional. You're still all of those things. Even if you don't feel like you taught exactly how you wanted to teach, even if you don't end up getting the job, none of that matters more than you do. So don't forget your breath, because you'll lose your life if you don't remember to do it. Okay? Thanks, guys. This video, too, that was supposed to be more concise, I don't know if it was, but hey, take it or leave it. Thanks. Video 3 is next.